everyone. I am Blancara, and today we're going to continue cutting out the art for a Shalom from Path to Nowhere rig. So today I wanted to get in and actually start cutting out the shirt, but I wanted to make life easy on myself, so I found a version where she wasn't wearing the jacket. So that this way I could just cut from this. I'm going to have to do a few shenanigans in order to get everything properly, cut out and sized and stuff. But I figured that this was a pretty good starting point. So we're going to take this, and I'm going to bring it over here. I'm going to put it right here, I think. Okay. Where are you? Over there. Not sure why I got pasted over there, but that's fine. Alright, I'm gonna cut off some of the stuff on the side here, and then I'm gonna resize this so that it is, so that it matches up with the character here. It's okay, there we go. For a second there, it looked like it wasn't moving. So I'm gonna put in the coat. I think I'm actually gonna lower the opacity on the coat just so I can see where all this is being put. Not the arm. This. Okay. I actually want this over here. And then I just need to get it so that it is wrapping around her neck the way it should be while still being underneath the coat. That should give me a pretty good idea of how big this should be. So right now it's looking like I'll be doing a combination of the shirt from the other source and the shirt from this one, and that should get me pretty good coverage. Oh, okay, so I might have to pull a few more shenanigans. Because it looks like her shoulders are a little bit lower on this one than they are on the other one. I did notice that they didn't seem to be perfect matches, so that is honestly very interesting. Because, it should be way down here, according to this. Let's, go turn on the original here. And kind of see what's going on. Yeah, the, shoulders just run much lower here. Okay. Let's hide the neck and chest. This looks like it should be matching up, right over here. This is the hazard of taking it from another source, but I do think that overall, this will be a bit easier than trying to redraw the entire thing myself. So we'll just use a little bit of liquify to push it down a bit. And I'm gonna go turn the coat back on. And this one off. We'll go ahead and turn the neck and chest and stuff back on. And then I will try to figure out how all this is going to line up. This should be going right about over here. Okay, and where is the collar in relationship to the coat here? Do I have it mostly covered up? I have it entirely covered up. Perfect. In that case, I think this structure should work just fine. Does it look unnatural when I flip it? Do her shoulders look correct? I'm gonna check it real quick. Looks good here. And if I lower the opacity here, about how much space do I have? Okay, it looks like I have the shoulder like right up against the coat there, so this should be good. And I don't think this looks too unnatural. Perfect then. I think this should work just fine. So let's go back down to the original. And then I'll have to merge. Oh, is her chest higher on the other one? Kinda looks like it, doesn't it? Okay, well, I will figure out how to merge these two groups together. Like I said, I still think it's a little bit easier than trying to redraw her entire shoulder by myself. So I will deal with any of the difficulties here. Let's go ahead and hide. Where'd it go? There it is. Hide that, and then should be able to match them up around here, and I will favor the one that actually came from this drawing over the copy that I got. So we'll bring this up here, we'll put it right below the other one. And I'll hide the original for now. And we'll get this on there. I guess I'll put this on top. That probably makes a bit more sense. And this is pretty close to already just kind of being done for me, so let's get in there and clean it all up. Cut it out. And I'm not going to worry about redrawing it all yet. I'm just going to merge these two together, let them look a little funny. It's fine. It's totally fine. When the time comes, I'll worry about it then. I'm actually going to hide the head too, since there's some hair I need to cut this out from. Well, yeah, this should save me a bit of effort from having to completely just draw her entire shoulder like this. I just pulled it from another piece of official art. And this way I can do a toggle where I take the coat off. Just very loosely cutting for the time being, getting the low-hanging fruit. And then I will worry about getting the rest. When I have to get in there real close and be very careful and precise. Sometimes it's nice just to do the easy stuff first, you know? Okay, that should be enough from there. So hopefully today I can finish just the rest of the base cutting. And then I can worry about separating all the individual pieces of each of these parts. This looks like a bit of hair. I will have to redraw through here. That's okay. That's kind of to be expected. I'm pretty sure I just have this shirt, and then the skirt and the feet. And I think that's all I have left for basic cutting. And then after that is just part separation. Figure out how I want all these different pieces to be moving. And then cut more detailed accordingly. Straightforward enough. I don't want to do too much body movement, so hopefully it won't take quite as long as the hair. Because the hair needs a lot of movement in order to look good. The body just has more ground to cover. some other minor corrections I kind of want to make at some point, but I really do just want to finish the cutting before I get into some of that stuff. Like, I think I want to have a couple more shadows in the hair itself, like strands casting shadows on other strands and that kind of thing. And then I think her face is looking a bit pudgy and round, so I kind of wanted to slim that up a little bit. That's just a unfortunate side effect of making her face symmetrical in my version when it is not in the original. Unfortunately, it does look like I'm still gonna have to draw a lot of areas around the elbow. Although I do have a little bit more elbow around here if I happen to need it, so I can always pull a little bit more if I need to. I think in this particular case it honestly might just be easier to redraw it all. The elbow's not in the same place in that other source that I have. Sometimes we gotta make decisions like that, as editing two pictures together is easier sometimes, but sometimes, honestly, it's just easier to draw it yourself. That's just kind of how it works out. And if you've got the skill to draw it, sometimes it's easier. Okay. Now we'll cut out this part. I should hide that arm. Yeah, that's right, because I cut it out from there, so I'll just messily kind of go through here. I don't mind keeping those strings in there. So her top isn't going to be completely symmetrical. I mean, you can... I don't want to go pull up the original right now, but if you looked at the original, you'd see that the lapels on the shirt are not quite symmetrical. Which makes sense, because one of them does kind of have to be a little bit below the other, and so I have to decide how much of it do I want to make symmetrical anyway. And honestly, considering the relative unimportance of the location of the lapels on her shirt, I might just make it symmetrical to save myself some trouble. So we'll finish clean through here. I'm actually going to try to get rid of all of the black there because there should not be any lines right through here. All of this should just fade into the other part of the shirt. There we go. I'll call this. I think this is cut fine, so I'm going to go ahead and merge them together now. And I will mirror that when it comes time to, you know, do that. And I have, so it gives me a little bit of time to decide if I really want this to be symmetrical or not. I probably do, honestly. It's just hard for me to imagine a world where the little bit of asymmetry in the folds and the collar here is just important enough to be worth all the extra effort that's going to come with both drawing and rigging it. Okay. But regardless, I'm not at that stage yet, so I'm just going to move on to the skirt. I will go ahead and separate this long belt right away, I think. It's because it'll bother me if I don't for some reason. I'm not sure why. Sometimes things just bother you. Now here, this is clearly not symmetrical, but I think I'm going to keep it that way. Because, I don't know, it feels kind of weird to make it symmetrical with her feet like that for one, and for two, she kind of has this sachet in her hips. And I think it'd be kind of a shame to get rid of that. Some of the lower parts I might make a little bit more symmetrical than they are now. But for now, I'll just do this. So this I want under all of the coat parts. This will be skirt. And we'll just hide all the things. So you can see here that I'm concerning myself a little bit more with the layer order right away than I was in the hair. And that's, well, mostly because it's hair. Most hair strands look pretty much the same. So I was worried about just getting them cut out, and then I could get the order just right as I was going through and figuring out what each piece looks like, which part needs to go where, and how all the overlapping works. And that would have been kind of a nightmare to plan. Whereas with stuff like this, it's okay. The skirt is completely underneath the coat, because both sides of the coat are on top of it. And that's easy. Like, that does not require thought. That's just, you look at the picture for 5 seconds and you know, oh, this should go here. So that's the difference there. Whereas, the hair, with how detailed I had to make the cuts, it just wasn't really feasible to do it right away. And if I tried, I probably would have driven myself a little bit crazy. And so the order that I do things varies somewhat. There we go. So I just gotta cut through this, get it all cut out. I am looking forward to being done with this part because, honestly, coming up with stuff to say while doing this is pretty rough. Like, there's only so much I can say, you know, cut out the edges, get it smooth, make it look nice. That's all I'm really doing. I'm just looking at the edges of the skirt here, and I'm doing my best to make the line width consistent, but I've never been very good at that, so for this side, I'm probably just going to take what's over here and mirror it over, so I think I'm actually going to do that now. I will definitely redraw parts of, like, the belt loop and stuff. But, maybe I won't do it now. Okay. I'll figure it out later. But basically, I'm not sure if I want to redraw everything that's under the sleeve there. That sounds like work, man. I'm just gonna go grab low-hanging fruit. Feeling a little bit lazy. Feeling a little bit lazy today. It's okay, it happens sometimes. But I'll get it all out. Slowly but surely. Okay, and this, yeah, that is part of the skirt, because it has those little frills in there. That's gonna be something I cut for animation purposes, so this way when she moves back and forth it can swing nicely, so I'm gonna have to do quite a lot of redrawing on this, I think. Despite it not being super important or prominent. But skirt physics are just too much fun, you know? You gotta make them go whoosh. You gotta make it so flowy and fun. I'd just be wrong if I didn't put some effort into it. Still not planning on moving the feet though, so I will probably actually not separate them from each other. I'll just keep both feet on one layer. any signs of legs and stuff will have to come from rigging the skirt. I'll probably just keep them forward facing. Even when she turns her body. Although maybe I'll turn the feet a little bit. Maybe I should just separate them just to be careful, just in case perfectionism sets in. Who knows? It's always the choice you gotta make. Even though I don't really want to plan on doing a whole lot of foot movement. Well, like I said, I was planning on absolutely none. Just to keep my life simple since I'm focusing on waist up. But then here I am talking about fun skirt physics and all this other stuff. Look, man, it's hard to resist the physics. The physics make everything more fun. It just really brings the model alive. There was a trend on Twitter for a while of riggers posting their models before physics and then after physics. And the difference it makes is huge. If you have any interest in rigging, I would actually recommend looking up some of those because it's really genuinely amazing just how important the physics are. And how much you really want to pay attention to those and do them right and learn how to do them right. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how the physics on my model came out. I didn't do too many, but I was very particular about the hair and the eyes. I guess I did a fair amount on the skirt too, but I probably could have pushed that further. I just didn't because I knew people wouldn't be seeing it very much and I just kind of wanted to get started. As opposed to, you know, spending another god knows how long on getting nice skirt physics that no one would ever see. It's like I'd show them to you, but I want to focus on my drawing. Maybe someday I'll show you the full body on my model. Maybe someday. I'm sure if I ever make another model for myself that I'll definitely do a comparison. Show my rigging improvement. Like I said, this model was the first one I really made. The other ones were just some mostly shoulders up, focusing on the head, tests to learn the program. And then I just jumped right into this big old full body model, and it was a good time. I had a lot of time working on this model. But even now when I look at it, I'm just like, oh, I could have done some stuff like this. Yes, I will keep this in mind for the next model I make, so I'm very curious to see how this model of Shalom turns out. I'm curious to see how much I've learned in that time. So I haven't done too much rigging, but I have done quite a bit of studying. I will just see if any of the knowledge I've picked up is stuff I can put into practice, and I also want to experiment a little bit more with the tracking parameters that we have access to, and stuff like that. I'm gonna just do a lot of experiments. The biggest thing that I really want to work on, and I'm doing this model, and we'll see how much I can pull that off, because I think it's going to require a bit of research off stream, is around eyebrows. I didn't worry about it too much for me because my eyebrows are not super expressive in real life, so I didn't worry about it too much, but I wasn't super happy with how they turned out. I just kind of did what I had to do in order to get them functional. I also think that a new version of Puppet String, the face tracking software that I use, is coming out, so I'll have to get that and take a look. a new version of Enochi 2D has come out in the past couple of days. Not a big version, just a small number version with some optimizations and a couple of new features, if I recall. Like some optimizations to mesh groups. So hopefully that'll help a little bit. I saw the person coding it, testing it out, and seeing what kind of different effects you could get, and you can make the eyes look much more 3D. Or at least that's what he did. With the new type of mesh group, so that'll be exciting. I'm looking forward to trying out some of these things. I haven't been paying attention to Enochi 2D news as much lately, but maybe I should start taking a look again and try to stay on top of some of the new features I want to try. Let's see what's out there and how it's being used. Spend a little bit more time with the showcase on the Discord server. See what people are making. I like seeing what people are making. I should leave some comments. Sometimes it's just hard for me. Sometimes it's a bit hard for me. Try to preserve this little fold in the pants there, or skirt here. And almost there. There's one side almost done. It's like, man, even though I'm not planning on doing too much with this, this is like half the model here. It's just so funny how pretty much all the details in the model are just constrained into such a tiny percentage of it. Most of this is just going to be in the face. The face is what gets pretty much all of the focus. The rest is just going to be quick and dirty to accentuate the face more. Alright. Over here. I was lazing out a bit on that because at least when I was looking at the original, that looked like it wasn't part of the pants. Yeah, you can see it's part of her sleeve here. Oh, I didn't actually cut that out. Over here, I should do that. I will do that after I finish cutting out the skirt. So I'll get some more details on that right arm. And then we'll grab the feet. And I still need to do a little bit of cutting on her floating triangle friend. And so now we just have to go down this side. I got most of the easy parts over here cut out already, so now we just have to be very careful. I guess this side it isn't quite as important to get it right because I think this is overlapping on the coat. So I'm going to be redrawing through here anyway. There we go. And we'll just a little further. I'm already thinking of the parts that I want to cut out here. It's like these little zipper thingies. We'll be able to swing nicely with physics. And then, of course, these little white parts need to come out, and anything I want to be able to swing around freely, and then some other parts will probably just be there for perspective, like the actual zipper part of the zipper as opposed to just the dongly bit. Because even if I'm not planning on applying physics to it, being able to move it around properly will make getting a 3D effect on turns good. Although their leg area is not going to be moving very much, so I probably don't need to worry too much, but I still want to cut it out, just to make sure. I'm not quite sure how that's going to be turning yet. I can't quite picture it in my head, so I'll probably have to do some of those turns in front of the mirror. I have a mirror that's taller than I am, hanging on my wall behind me. So I probably will never check those things on stream, but at least off stream I can take a look and get a good feel for how it should all fit together once it comes time to rig it. If I get confused. These kinds of things are nice. I remember when I was rigging my model here, I actually looked up a bunch of references on sewing and how dresses fit together. And then, of course, when the people that sew those dresses finish them, they like to put them on and then spin around in them. So I got to see those kinds of effects, and that helped me put the physics on the dress too. So I had a lot of understanding that I needed to gain in order to do some of this. Because with rigging, it's not enough to just understand how things look. You have to understand how they move too. I think it's very interesting. I just gotta get in there. Look, almost to the bottom. Didn't take too long at all. Should be able to finish the feet and that part of the arm that I wanted to do, and then start cutting things. I guess I'll leave the belt here for now, and I'll just cut it when it comes time to get the detailed cuts in the skirt. Let myself be a little bit lazy. We'll see how much it bothers me by the time I finish everything else I want to do. Who knows, maybe it just means I finish cutting out the skirt in its entirety first. The skirt honestly has the most obvious places to cut, so I have no idea what this is. There's just a random belt hanging off the skirt here, but it looks like it goes behind. So I have no idea. I'm gonna have to figure that out. That's the thing with anime character design sometimes. It's, random details get added, and I do not always know what they are for. Or what they are supposed to be. I just gotta get this nice little frilly bit. And that'll be the end of this cut. Until I need to cut it up some more. Unfortunately, there's a lot of tight little corners here, so it makes it a bit hard to cut out. So So I'm trying to be very careful here. Might make me a little quiet since I need to be very careful. Make sure I get those strokes just right. I'll probably have to go back over it anyway, but I can pretend. It'll be fine. I think the line art here is closer to gray as opposed to this red from the back of the coat that is currently kind of going in there. I'm trying to get most of that out of there. There we go. And there we go. Okay. So yeah, I can see that I have to draw a little bit more over here and up there. So that'll be some work later. But that's a job for future me. Present me is gonna grab the rest of this arm here. A little bit that's just kind of peeking. Peeking right through here. So now I have to find that other arm. It's right here. And we'll put it there, and I hit the wrong layer. There we go. That happens sometimes. Look, hitting the right button is hard. And I know I'm just going to separate these two again, but I think I will merge them down together for the time being. I don't have to be too neat around here. Just because most of this is going to be redrawn. The only part that I really need to be neat on is right over here, where I'm cutting out the edges right from the coat. Yeah. Like I said, the rest just needs to be redrawn. No, not too much point in spending a bunch of time cutting it. There we go. All cut out. Go ahead and put those together. Just for now. Now we go back to the original. And I'll go ahead and grab the shoes. Oh, is that skin showing through there? Looks like it is. Oh, I see. These zippers are part of the shoes, not part of the skirt. Okay, I will cut them out of the skirt layer then. That explains why I could not figure out what the heck was going on with them. That would do it. Where's the skirt? Here you are. Okay, so I'm going to cut these out of this layer, because they are part of the shoes. See, sometimes you just need to look a little bit closer in order to really understand what's going on. It's important to take the time to understand, I think. So in my spare time, I've been working on how to push poses and expressions, and I've been having a great time with that. But it's a lot of hard work trying to really get in there and understand the perspective and all this other stuff. Did I erase it too much? I think I did. Yeah. So I've been having to really go in there and really comb through references to help me understand and all that good stuff. But I think I have a much better understanding of how to get some of the perspective effects on more extreme poses than I did before. It's very exciting. It really is. Art is so much fun. It's just hard. Alright, let's get these feet. Huh. It's right here transparent? I'm not sure if I want to keep that in my version. But it looks like it might be a little bit transparent right here for some reason. How odd. Let's get all this visible. I don't think I'm going to keep the transparency there on mine. It's not worth the effort. And I'll just go straight across and around. This will go below the skirt. Right here. Hide the original, and we'll start cutting this too. This is going to be super quick. It's like when I go through and start redrawing things, I probably will draw more of the feet here just so that the skirt has a little bit of room to move, but yep, that's all the cutting. All the basic cutting. So now I should be able to turn everything on. And it'll be nearly put together. Alright, we're not quite done with the cutting. I have to cut everything out on Triangle Friend. But yeah, we're getting there. Okay. So what I'm gonna have to do here. Well, first I'm gonna clean up all these little artifacts. So it looks like a lot of this is just some like glowing effects that I'll probably have to add back in. But for now, I shall get rid of them. They're barely noticeable. And I did look up how this moves, and unsurprisingly, it spins. Which makes life a little bit harder for me, but it's very doable. And then all these little debris, little shapes here, they move around as well. So I'll do some good separation on those. I think this thing will probably be a toggle, but while it's on, I want to make sure that it looks very nice. I'm going to start with just really cleaning up. And then I'll worry about making things glow and all of that stuff when it comes time to redraw everything. Because there's going to be quite a bit of redrawing, I think. It's a simple little construct, but there's going to be quite a bit to it. So I need to separate out these little triangles in order to get it to spin. I need to be able to rotate those triangles around. And I'm actually checking for parts that I missed right away, just because I know there's going to be a ton with how much just stuff was floating around it that I didn't want. So I already know there's going to be quite a lot to clean up on all of these layers. Even before I finish separating them all. I definitely want to get things nice and clean. As nice and clean as I can manage it. Alright. Yeah, not too many on this one, that's good. This one decided to be easy on me. This one wasn't too bad. Could be worse. I was actually expecting a lot worse, so that's nice. Definitely some spots I need to clean, though. Just all around here. I can't really see where any of them are, so I'm just kind of guessing. I guess I already had the basic separation and all this done, so I don't have to do all that right now. I might take a break from separating and fix her face a little bit. It's like it does mean I'm gonna have to redraw much of the headline, but you know, that's fine. It's better than leaving something looking kind of weird looking. Like, I don't think it looks terrible, but this character's face is just a bit thinner than that. And I'd kind of like to reflect that. So I'm gonna lower the opacity just a little bit. Gonna hide this headline. Turn on my symmetry. Turn off the hair. And then, very carefully, erase just a little bit through here. Just being very, very careful. I don't want to change too much around her chin, just kind of around here. Okay, so now I'm gonna bring the opacity back up. And make sure that everything else is run nicely here. I didn't shave off too much, so I shouldn't have to do too much editing on, well, everything besides the headline. The headline is gonna require lots of changes down here at the bottom. And I think she's looking a bit better. And hopefully a slimmer face will make her neck look a little bit better too. Her neck was looking maybe a little bit thin relative to her head. And I'll just smooth out any other potential issues I see. Make sure I have the head color selected. Oh, I have the airbrush selected first. Oh, what are you doing? Need to make this much, much smaller. Yeah, it's taking too long. There we go. So normally I work on canvases much bigger than this, so when I draw on my own, the brush I use is much larger. Okay. Now I can go correct the headline. Make sure I have the right color first. There we go. And it looks like it's mostly wrong. Just right around here. I'm gonna go hide the original just to make sure. So I can see. And yeah, looks like I mostly changed around the cheeks here. That's about what I expected. I do not have the headline selected. I don't. That would be useful. I want to erase the wrong parts of this headline. It would help to have the right layer selected. Stuff I keep doing. Alright, I'm gonna be quiet for a second while I try to get these strokes right. Because with as much trouble as I have drawing lines in general, as you might imagine, connecting lines like this is fairly difficult for me. So give me just a moment to focus. Just want to make sure there's no weird lumpy parts like this. There we go. It's starting to look okay. Let's take a look. Okay, that's actually looking better than I thought it would. Just want it to be a little thinner in a couple of spots. Just a little bit. There we go. I think that should be pretty good. Yeah. Now I just want to go back to the main head layer and fill in a couple of these spots that look like they're not filled in quite right. There we go. Like I said before, you don't want any holes. Alright, and while I'm doing some corrections on things on the head, I noticed when I was doing a whole bunch of hiding and showing again that I think I need these shadows around the eye sockets to be a little bit darker. I think this is probably a better color than the one that I'm using. So I'm gonna go ahead and change the color in there. There we go. And this does mean that I need to adjust the color on one of these hair shadows. Yeah, this one. A little bit too. So it matches up a little bit better. And if I hide the hair, does it look good? Just kind of buff it out right through here. There we go. That should be pretty good. And does that look a little bit more like Shalom now? Okay, I'm gonna have to hide some stuff. Yeah, I think so. Now the question is, do I want to put a little bit more under her eyes? I don't know, I'm kind of afraid if I do more, it might match the original a little bit more closely, but with my style I think it would just make her look more tired, so I think I might just leave it like that. I think it looks like her. Okay. So that does look a bit better. But then I think with the remaining time I feel like drawing today, I will just start cutting out these various pieces figure out where things need to go. Yeah, and I still have to make the neck look nice, and I don't think I want to do any redrawing right now. I'll go cut stuff out. Unsure. I think what I'm gonna do for this is I'm gonna duplicate this. And then I'm going to just make this bottom one a solid blue with line art. So this way I can have the shadows move across it and look like it's spinning. I think I'm gonna have to have a copy of the shadows as well. So let's... And this one will be over here somewhere. And then I'll take this line art color. Huh, is it actually red? It is. That's fascinating. I don't think I like it, so I'm gonna take the blue. And we'll just put lines around. I'm actually locking the layer this time. It's because I've got it relatively round. And I don't think I want to change that. Actually, no, I need to have the lines on a separate layer. Okay. No good putting them on this layer because I need it to be on top of the shadows here. Alright, so I'll just have to be a little bit careful. Probably fine if it's not perfectly round. I'll just do my best. I say I don't want her to do too much redrawing and then I start doing this. Well, I know what I have to do, so I can follow my whimsy. It's fine. There we go. Okay. Now I kind of want to pick some of these colors. I don't want the line art to be on this layer. I will just have it be somewhere else. Alright, and then I'll clean this up a little bit. Just clean it up a little bit. And we'll fix some of the colors over here. And I think that should do it. So now I should be able to just kind of move it around a bit. Alright. Now I kind of want to extend some of these. Have it extend off of the ball, just so I will have plenty of room to let it spin. And at this point it's kind of okay if it's not round. And it might actually make more sense for me to make it more square. So that when I pull stuff over, there's interesting stuff happening. can make it spin. Something like this. Yeah, and then duplicate. This one completely off. I haven't done something like this before, but this is what I've seen work. And I just need to know how it actually happens. I probably want to extend it a bit more this way, and this a bit more this way. This way when I pull it across, it'll look right. And like I was saying before, it probably doesn't matter if it's especially round or anything. Probably more important that I not be missing too much of it. Something like this, maybe. So when I start pulling you across. I duplicate. Right, I need to move it over still. Maybe a bit more. You can tell that I've never done something like this before, but I've thought about it. Let's make it a bit more square, I guess. And a bit more interest on the sides. See if that helps any. Everything on this has so far been shaded with a fairly hard edge, so I'm just going to use my hard edge brush and call it good. This is how I normally draw anyway, so it's fine. Doing my best to not change anything about anything on the ball itself. Okay, that's just from me having an unsteady hand, but I think this is rotating a bit better. So let's try again. Right there is not looking quite the way I want it to, so maybe I should make the colors on both sides more similar. And we can still keep this color, just have it kind of buried. And just have everything on the edges either be dark blue or light blue. One or the other. Maybe that'll work. This probably needs to be a bit lower. This way they kind of meet up at the same spot. It's maybe something like that. I'm just trying some stuff. And I'll place them a little bit better when the time comes. So I think this should work out. Yeah, assuming that I just have assuming that I put everything in the right place once I can see everything while I'm rigging. So I think this should be okay. I'll replace the textures if I have to, I guess. Okay. Let's cut out the debris. I think these I'm just gonna have to number because there's just too many for me to have a proper name for them all. So, well, okay, I will call you. I will call you Big. And I will call you Middle. There we go, this way I can give them proper names. And this one will be Small. With the way they move around. I definitely want them properly, all of them, on separate layers, even though it's a bit pain. You will be Ball. This is the one nearest to the ball. Okay, so I have all of the debris on this layer. You will be Lonely. Alright. So now we're getting the ones where I'm gonna have to cut it out from the rest. So this will be Hatched. And Lonely is on the... Well... Actually, you're the only one on the left side. The other one should be renamed right. I'm just dyslexic. So all of those are on the right, not the left. What am I talking about? And this is getting big, so I'm gonna go make a group for these. Just for the sake of my sanity here. Alright, let's cut this guy out. This one I don't think I'll make move too much, so he'll just sit on top of this big triangle here. But these guys I might draw a little bit more. This one I think I'll leave attached. So let's cut him out first. These two are gonna move. So I'll have to draw a little bit more. Dyslexia strikes again. This is on the right. I have to check all these names now. Yep, Lonely's on the left side. Ball is on the right side. That's on the right side. Okay, we're good. I have them all named correctly. Cutting off a little bit too much there. Alright, now before I cut off the rest, I want to hide these two. And I want to erase them on the original layer. Make it so that they are just no longer there. And I'll redraw the parts on the triangle itself once I finish cutting out all the rest. Okay. This one I'm going to want to draw a bit more of. Let me see. Are you supposed to be underneath or above? Underneath. So I want you here. And you will be big. And I'll start cutting all this out. And I think I will just redraw this one right now. I don't mind just keeping it blue there. Things aren't going to move too much. I'm keeping it simple. But I do want to remove the signs of the other one that was there. And we'll just extend this little bit down a little bit. Keep it blue. There we go. I think something like that will be fine. I don't need to make it too detailed. And then we'll just take out this little tiny fragment. I don't think this one's going to need that much redrawing. But we will prepare for it. And this one will be small. Perfect. Yep, looks like that one's fine. So I'll go ahead and remove all of those. And I'll start redrawing everything on the main layer here. Right now I'm just erasing the parts to keep the perspective the way I think it should be. I'm kind of trying to follow these straight lines to make sure I get every sign of those little pieces of debris that I removed out. And then I can just go in and draw over the parts that had stuff on them. It looks to me like it's supposed to be kind of like this. And then there's this super dark part back there that I'll keep. Gonna blend it a little bit more. Here we go. And then I'll just follow these curves. Actually, they're straights, but, you know, close enough. And that was already like that, so I don't need to worry about it. And I'll just extend it a little bit more this way, too. So that's just kind of how it looked to me. And it was just being covered a little bit partially by the debris there. Didn't realize I had black. There we go. And then there was some line art on the blue part that I will replicate now. There we go. Perfect. Yeah. Not so bad at all. Do a little bit more cleaning. And then I can turn all of these little debris bits back on. And I can turn this on and off as I need to now. So all of those are separated, the ball is separated. Now I need to separate the front and back of both of these triangles and the glowy part of both of these triangles. So I'll start with the bottom one. So I will call you front. And I will separate out the back. And I'll probably do the top as well. Top being just what I redrew, actually. So I think I'll just separate like this. I need to zoom out so I can see the whole thing. It'll just be a little sliver of black on the top there, just to make things simple. It should make it nice and easy to have them joined together. So this will be side. And then over here. Will be top. Okay. I'm gonna cut out the side first. Now by keeping this black line here, I can use it as both line art for this part and to make it nice and easy for the top part to attach to it. Hopefully seamlessly. Right now I'm just going to focus on cutting it out. And then after, I'll make sure that all the holes are plugged. It's funny, I thought this would be straighter. It's not quite as straight as I thought it was. That's alright. I don't need it to be perfectly straight or anything. Yeah, I guess right here there is a little crook. That's interesting. I didn't notice that until I started cutting it out. The things you notice when you have to do a bunch of detailed orientated work like this. This is what the rest of the cutting is going to start looking like, where I just figure out which pieces I need to get each side to look right. And then I just go in and cut them out. This should be here in terms of layer order. So I'm going to have to draw some extra parts over here, I think. Like, it's going to be a little bit tricky because I do want to keep that line. I think I might just be able to keep that line on the original. And then draw over it on this and not have to worry about it like that. So from my understanding of how to get spinning things to work, I am going to have to make a copy of some stuff. Oh, hello there. How do you say your name? Ver? Thanks for dropping in. Right now I'm just cutting out some art here so that I can rig it later. I'm gonna be turning this official art of Shalom from Path to Nowhere into a VTuber model. Because why not? I'll go ahead and start cleaning up this top part here, since I already have the top cut out, so I might as well just cut this out here. I'm gonna be a bit more particular about the line art on this layer. That this way I don't have to worry about it on the others. And I'll just kind of make this one the most important. The, I don't know, base that everything else will be rotating around. I think I'm gonna have to make a copy of this in order to have it wrap back around. While it's spinning, I can kind of picture it in my head. But I've never actually tried rigging something like this, so that's gonna be an experiment for me too. And it's okay, that's the importance of trying new things. You never know what's gonna happen, and I'm probably gonna make some mistakes along the way, but that's alright. I can go ahead and fix them as I need to. Alright, so this plane is almost cut out. And I just need to go clean up the top part. And then I need to separate this triangle. I'm not going to worry about the glow and the triangle separation, I'm just going to go put it back in afterwards. I think that'll be easier than trying to figure out the glow along with that. It'll probably look a little bit different, but I think that's okay. Trying to cut out something with a feathered edge like that would be a bit of a nightmare. Okay. Oh, I just need to make this part look nice. I can already tell I'm gonna have to draw a lot more, but I'm not quite sure how to make that look. It's like I want to make sure that I can get it right for all the angles that I need it to spin with. I don't know, do I just have to... Because it's like when this spins, this corner right here is going to move to over here. And I'm not sure if I can do that very cleanly. I'll think about it for a little bit. Let me just start filling in gaps and filling in the gaps and then cutting out the other part of the shoral here. There we go. Just make sure there's no gaps here. A little bit darker. Right through there. And I can blend through here as I need to, but it looks like there aren't any gaps anywhere else, so that's nice. Okay. Now I'm gonna cut out this triangle. Just go around. I'm not worried about the glow. Like I said, that would be an absolute nightmare to cut, so I'm not going to. Like, maybe someday, when if I decide I want to get really, really good at art cutting for some reason, I'll pay attention to stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure that I can get just as good as an effect for my purposes here by just cutting out the bright part and then adding a glow on it afterwards. So I can do that in like 2 seconds with the Gaussian blur. It's a bit more reasonable than trying to be very particular about how that glow is separated from the background there. That sounds like it'd be absolutely terrible. Alright. And at the very least, when I go do the top, there's no bottom part showing, so that'll be one less thing to worry about there. I'm still thinking about how to handle that blue part there. I'm wondering if I can get away with painting the entire thing one solid color with, I guess, minor gradation. And then having the blue part sit on a separate layer that'll be clipped to it on top. And then I can just change their shapes independently. That might be how I have to do it. Just some masking shenanigans. Yeah, so if I make a clipping mask, for that I can make the blue layer much larger. And it needs to be. So that this way I can have it cover everything. When I start rotating it. I realize this may not make much sense without visuals accompanying it. Can't talk. Accompany. To go with it. But, it's kind of hard to illustrate outside of the rigging program. But I think I have an idea of how I'm going to handle that. I guess I can try to describe the problem a little bit more clearly. So, if I turn on this top layer here, you can see that there's this blue part surrounded by this black part. And I need to make it so this way, if I want to make the spin, like this corner has to be able to go all the way over here. It needs to be just a completely different shape. Like it has to be able to look like this. And that's not going to be easy to do with this as one layer. And I think I need the blue part and the black part to be much larger than they actually are. Which of course then means that I need to have a way to hide that, so a mask of some kind would make sense. I guess I'll make two, one for the black part, one for the blue part. The blue one will be a little bit smaller. And then I can just make both those parts just a big massive square. That should hopefully cover everything I need from them. And then I just adjust the size of the mask to be the shape that I want, because I don't have to worry about textures and stuff like that on there. Okay, let me zoom out, make sure that looking okay. Not quite. A little bit weird right through here. Looks like I got some colors that aren't quite right, and the upscaling it kind of messed them up. Here we go. I'll do this side too, just to get rid of some of the black spots that I missed. And then I should be able to add a nice blur to make the glow effect. I don't think I need the glow effect on a separate layer, so I'll just keep those together. So this pink, I don't think should be there. I mentioned this in a few past streams, but when I upscaled this image in order to get it to be a reasonable size for VTuber models, that I unfortunately had a lot of just random artifacts in various places, so sometimes there's spots where the colors aren't quite right, and spots where it's a little bit blurry, and just various things that I'm going to have to correct in order to make it look good, but there we go. That looks much better. So now I'll duplicate this. And this will add my glow that I want. And there we go. Nice and simple. Now I just have to get rid of the glow on the original. Probably fix a few artifacts here and there. Let me lock this so I cannot color outside the lines. And I'll just go in and color over this and get rid of all these. Get rid of the signs of the glow that is now separated on a different layer. Because I kind of need it like that in order to get this to spin. This is fascinating to me because I remember when I still drew in Photoshop instead of Krita that I would get bands like this in my shading and it would drive me nuts. Take me forever to get rid of them all. And here it's just a stylistic choice. Like I said, I'm going to go over some of this. I don't want to completely get rid of it because I think some of it is also metallic texture, according to this artist's style. But some of this I can tell is just a result of the upscaler not being perfect. So I'm just going to clean it up just a little bit. Like here I think is probably okay. It's mostly these tiny little dots and checkerboard patterns everywhere that I don't think are supposed to be there. I'm just gonna go in and clean that up a little bit while I get rid of the glowing line here. Being very particular about where all these shadows go because I do want to stick as close to the original as my skill level allows me to do. And I might go and reference the original occasionally. In fact, I think I will do that right now. Let's go turn this on. Did I get the wrong layer? No, it's there. I guess I just cut it out of the background. Okay. Well, that's kind of unfortunate. Let me go check the reference that I have in my browser then. Okay. I'm just double checking the shape that it's supposed to be. And yes, indeed, some of these rough areas are indeed supposed to be metal texture. Okay. I'm just gonna take a second to cover all this. And I'll keep some of these lighter areas. Like I said, I want to be very, very particular about how I redraw these things. Just kind of lessen some of the noise there because I don't think that's how it's supposed to look. There we go. I'll return to cutting all that out in just a sec. I just want to clean over here a little bit before I do. And it's gradually disappearing. Redrawing like this is always the hardest part. Just gotta pay attention to so many tiny little details. So many little details. And it's also a bit rough because, like, you don't even get to the good part until much later. Like, for me, the best part of rigging is just watching the art just spring to life. Because it's one thing to watch all this when it's sitting still, but, like, once you rig it, it's moving. Like, it looks real, man. It's so much more energetic. It's so much fun. But cutting the art is considerably less fun. And you don't even get the good payoff until much later. Because nothing's moving here. But it's a step that has to be done. Because if it's not separated, you can't make it move good. And unfortunately, there's just a lot here. It's a lot. How many layers am I up to anyway? 'Cause I think I can check that here. 149. Yeah, sounds about right. Considering I have not thoroughly separated anything outside of the head and shoral yet. I'm just kind of going over, making sure that I have all the right colors in the right places. I'm trying to keep the banding effect that was there before very prominent and very straight. I'm kind of afraid that I've made things a little bit crooked. I'm kind of going back over it just to straighten it out a bit. I think once I finish redrawing this part and cutting out the gluey part, that's where I will end for today. I was hoping to finish the rest of Shoral, but that's alright, I can do that tomorrow. Let's see, how's it looking? Oh yeah, that looks fine. Still looks very metallic. So let's go turn all the layers back on and take a look at how things are looking now. You see how I'm getting there. This is all the parts that I have cut out, and the parts that are missing there are just going to be symmetrical, so I'm not going to duplicate those over until I flip it horizontally. So I think I'll just leave the original off for now. I think I can get away with doing that from now on, so. Well, thank you all for coming. If you'd like me to take a look at any of your creative projects, whether that be art, writing, coding, game design, or any other creative pursuit you can think of, feel free to message or at me on Twitter or Instagram, and I'll take a look and maybe leave some comments. So, I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.